Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for joining me. Today's problem involves the pigs. What's up, pigs? Hey pigs, how you guys doing? So the pigs have been here for a few weeks now, and in the interim they've been living in here with the chickens. And they think I'm bringing them food. This makeshift shelter here was here when I bought the place, and it's been great for the pigs up to this point. However, today I want to solve for that and get them a real shelter and something that'll be mobile. So today we're going to build a mobile, like, shade shelter, pig shelter, whatever. I'm going to build a shelter on skids so that when these guys go out to pasture, they've got some housing, because most of my property does not have shade. And since I'm rotating them through the grass, I don't expect them to be in any one spot long enough to create a mud pit. So I want to provide something to help keep them cool during the summer. Hey guys, what do you guys think about getting another house? Huh? What do you guys think about getting another house? Yeah, oh, you just lining up for a little head scratch? Yeah, just lining up for a head scratch. Also, just a quick update on Little. It's been a couple days since her comb got tore, and she's been doing pretty good. It's healing up really well. And yeah, I don't know if you can catch it all that well on camera, but there's still a little dried blood. But I didn't want to irritate it, so I treated it a few times, and she's doing pretty good now. Alright, so essentially all I'm doing is putting a lean-to style shed up. So I'll have a low roof on one side, pitched up to the up on the other side, with an open front here. They will have to step over this, but they're big enough at this point that I don't think that'll be an issue. And then I'll do a couple cross braces. What I haven't decided quite yet is if I want to recess one of the walls and leave a bit of an overhang, because I'm thinking about putting either a store-bought or maybe trying to build a small feeder for the pigs so that they can get to the feed but the chickens can't. So I still haven't decided if I'm going to try to rotate them together or not, but even if I rotate them close, the chickens can fly over stuff, and I don't really want to mess with trying to clip all their wings. I just don't think it's worth the effort. So if I can keep them out of the food, then the problem's solved. But we'll see how it goes. What's up, Twinkle? Hey, buddy. And if things go as planned, my dad will be here later to help me put the roof on it. Not the actual roof, but the rafters. He's going to show me how to actually cut and hang rafters, a little more appropriately. And while this won't necessarily need that kind of structural integrity because it's small, it is going to be kind of jostled around a lot, and I want to learn how to build them properly. That way, when I get ready to build some bigger structures, I'm doing it the right way. So the first thing I'm going to actually do is cut a bevel on the underside of these skids. That way they're slanted just like a sled would be. And then I'm going to get them spaced out. And a little bit of this I'm just kind of winging based on some different ideas I've seen online and just kind of a general idea of what I think I want. So I haven't quite decided about how wide it's going to be. I'm not even probably going to measure an exact roof pitch. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and then cut templates, for the rafters, if you will. What I do know is that I want it to be able to fit through all my gates, and so I think 5 foot is about as wide as it can be. So I'll probably put the skids a little closer, maybe 4.5 feet. That way there's a little bit of overhang for the roof, and it can still clear the gates. But I'll get more detail as we go if anybody wants to try and replicate it. All right, that's not real pretty, but it'll work. So I just need a slight edge on that. So I decided to go in 1.5 inches, set my depth as deep as it will go, and just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so I went ahead and made the decision to go about 4 feet wide. So I'm going to do 4 foot outer edge to outer edge. I'm going to take that, there we are, that 2x4. I'm going to cut it in half, get 2 4-foot sections, and then go ahead and get this thing squared up so that we can start to frame out that wall. right, it's time to do some damage. All right, so the professional over here finally has arrived. All right, so 272.5.
One here, one there.
All right, so here's what we've done so far. We've got our front at 3 feet and then our back at what?
18 inches.
At 18 inches. I'll cut this part because the moving sucks.
Overall length is 6 foot.
All right, and that way you can kind of get a good frame of reference for what that pitch is going to look like.
All
right, so what are we up to now?
All right, that's 41. I'm trying to figure out a roundabout length of the rafter. 61 would be fine.
All right.
For a rough cut, so we can get make our pattern.
All right, so what we're going to do is get a rafter cut and use it as a template. All right, so we got our rafters cut, and I've learned what a bird's mouth is. And so we've got all 4 of them. We're going to get them nailed down on the ends and then figure out which way our roof's going to run. And that'll be pretty much it. And screw these in, put the roof panels on, and we're done. All right, we got our rafters all screwed in, and we were out of square, so we use a ratchet strap to pull it square, and then what we're going to do here is just measure once and cut all 3 sheets the right width. And then we'll screw them down and that'll hold it square. And then the last thing will be putting the eye bolts into each corner, but that'll probably not happen today. All right, so I wanted to wait till the next day so that I had better lighting and show you guys the complete finished product. And all that's been done is went ahead and pre-drilled some holes and put my eye bolts in here. And then I went ahead and attached some carabiners to some paracord, which that's not the most comfortable thing on your hand. So I think I may end up redoing this and putting something over the paracord, like, you know, a piece of old hose or something, just so that it's not as, it doesn't kind of cut into your hands a little bit. But nice thing is this is, you know, one hand, it slides. Now granted, I am on, you know, pavement, but we're gonna go ahead and get this out, drag it through the driveway and through the field and over to the pen where the pigs are, and see how they like it. Now, just to summarize the build before we get out there, this is roughly 6 foot by 4 foot. With that pitch and the overhang, it's right at 5 foot wide. Which is what we were going for. And so the base is 4 foot outside to outside. If you include the expanse of the roof, we're about 5 foot wide. And then the roofing, I actually just used galvanized metal roof. It's not real heavy. I was trying to keep the weight between the heavy enough to prevent it from blowing away, but light enough to make it still movable. And we're going to test that out and see how that goes over the coming months. Also, special thanks to Dad for coming and helping me out here. He showed me a few techniques that are not necessary for something this small, but for, you know, proper construction of bigger projects, which I'll eventually get into. You know, I learned a couple valuable lessons, so really appreciate it. Shout out to you. and there we have it. Now, I may end up refining it a little bit as I go, just to see how they use it, you know, if it's effective or not. You know, those 4x4s at their age, they're probably just a little bit high, but I think as they get a little bigger, and by the time they get out on pasture here in about a month or two, I think it'll be all right. But we're gonna leave it in here for a bit and see how they do. You know, as I said before, if you've got any feedback, ways to improve, potential issues that you might see with it, I'm happy to hear any constructive feedback, things that I can do better. But in the meantime, hopefully you enjoyed. I'll let you guys know if it works or not. Oh yeah, one final note on it. The weight isn't terrible. I drug it probably 150 yards or so to get it in here. Probably wouldn't want to do that very often, but it wasn't too bad. And for the occasional like short moves, wouldn't be too bad. If I was going to drag it very far, I honestly I'd probably just hook it up behind a four-wheeler or something, or grab maybe a second person. But again, it wasn't too bad. I think it strikes the right balance that I was looking for. I just need to find a way to improve on this, because that paracord is just a little bit too narrow, and it puts too much pressure on your hands, so it kind of hurts. But the gloves helped. You chewing on my foot, buddy? Huh? You chewing on my foot, buddy? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. All right. Anyways, with that, I'm gonna close. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again next time.